Welcome to AARP, Arizona Hispanic Connection. Educate. Celebrate. Connect. Arizona Hispanic Connection.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is a beautiful morning in Phoenix, Arizona. We want to welcome everybody watching us through Facebook Live at AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection, and those listening us on 1190 AM. Welcome. I am Alex Juarez, Communications Director for AARP, sitting in today for David Parra. He's on a very well-deserved vacation. He's traveling in Mexico and will be back next week. So I have the fortune of being here today with two beautiful ladies. And then we have a great topic today, ladies. We're going to talk about let's disrupt aging. What is disrupt aging, right?
Yes.
Exactly. It is a great topic. And you know why I'm really excited about it? Because there's a lot of companies out there like Uber, Lyft, Amazon, Home Depot.
There's a lot of folks out
They're
there.
disrupting aging. And that's exactly what we're going to talk to today. How do we disrupt aging? How old is old? That is a really interesting question. But before we go into that, let me introduce these beautiful ladies. I'm going to start with Deb, because Deb is going to be joining us as a host as well for some shows. David Parra and I had the discussion. We wanted to bring in a female to give some flavor and good looks to the show, right?
Thank you, Alex.
Not only the good looks, but the brains.
There you go.
Because Deb Cedillo-Dugan, I've known Deb for, I don't know how many years, Deb. Probably
about 20
15,
years
20.
almost
Yeah,
now.
somewhere
Yes.
around there. Many years. And Deb is the station manager for Channel 11 with the city of Phoenix. And you're a well-known personality in TV, radio here in the city of Phoenix, throughout Maricopa County in Arizona. So, Deb, it is a pleasure to have you on today's show.
Well, thank you so much to being a part of AARP, because I am that person that continues to age like all of us, and it's just a pleasure to be here and to talk about this topic with both of you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deb. And then we have our illustrious and let me tell you something. I am so proud to work for this lady. She is my boss at AARP Arizona. And I'm not saying it to get some brownie points on that one, but she is an amazing, amazing woman. She is extremely bright. I wish I had just half of the energy that this woman has. She is a triathlete, marathon runner, you name it. I mean, this lady is absolutely amazing. She runs just circles around us. So Dana Marie Kennedy, she is the AARP Arizona State Director. And Dana, it is a pleasure to have you here. You are an expert in aging, in the topic of social well-being for the 50-plus segment. And it is a passion for you. And I think this topic really goes well along with your mission.
Yes, thank you for having me, Alex. It's been such a wonderful part to have you as a part of our team.
Thank you.
And you've been such a great addition. And we really have a phenomenal team in Arizona. And with you as a communications director, you're really taking us in a great direction, including the show.
Well, thank you, Dana.
I'm sad that David's not here.
Yes.
But he's always with us whenever this show happens.
Hard to fill in those shoes for David because
Yes.
he brings a lot of passion, and he's also an expert in the topics that he brings in here. So
But he's
we're
having
happy.
a great vacation in Mexico, so we don't feel too bad for him.
He's
Well
probably
deserved
watching
vacation.
right now.
Okay.
I would imagine he is. You know, David, if you're listening and watching us, say hello, David. Well, thank you so much, Dana. And Deb, we're going to be talking about how old is old. That's probably one of the biggest topics that a lot of people think. And I know that AARP did a series on disrupt aging. Our CEO, Joanne Jenkins, wrote a book. It's called Disrupt Aging. Wonderful book. I really enjoyed reading this book. I watched some of the videos that were created at our national office, Dana, that were talking how old is old. And some of the millennials were brought into a set where 50-plus people would come in and basically talk to them about aging and the things that they did. And these millennials were absolutely amazed of the things that people our age or older are doing.
That's right. I think sometimes it's a misconception because they think how old is old. In my personal opinion, though, too, and I want to hear from you, of course, is it's kind of a mindset. It really is a mindset. Everything's subjective, and a lot has to do with your health, your well-being, how you were raised, your culture, your environment. And so I'd like to hear your thoughts first and foremost, too.
Well, I just think, we always have these milestones in life.
Absolutely.
So you turn 18 and you have, 16, then you get your car, your independence.
Right.
And then you turn 18 and you're officially an adult.
Yes.
And then 21, then you can buy alcohol or go to bars. And then after that, it's 25, we're supposed to dread turning 25, 30, we're supposed to dread 30. And then when you turn 50, it's supposed to be this black party and, people are supposed to give you gifts.
Over the hill.
Over the hill,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm so excited about how we are changing that perception.
I love it.
And it's about time.
I agree.
Because I was fortunate that my great-grandfather lived to be 99 years old.
Wow.
And I would take him to the grocery store and he'd be like, guess how old I am? And he was so proud of his age. So I never had this conception that age had any limits of what we could do.
Right.
From where I saw it, it was a positive thing.
Right.
And I couldn't understand why everybody didn't want to get into aging like I did.
or not even to say what your age is. Because I know for me personally, I will be 60 next year.
Yep.
And I totally embrace that. I tell people that all the time. People are like, oh, my God, I can't believe you tell people your age. I'm like, do the math. I have a 30-year-old and a 27-year-old. I mean, it's just like it is what it is,
and we should be proud of it.
I totally embrace it.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? We have wisdom. We have a lot of wisdom.
Exactly.
It's not our first rodeo, and I love that when I bring interns or young people. I mentor a lot of people too, because it's like, I have a lot to offer and to provide for these young people coming into journalism.
Exactly.
So that's how I look at it too.
Exactly.
You touched on something really important here, wisdom.
Yes.
At AARP, we don't use the word senior anymore. We avoid it completely. So what do we call ourselves then? Are we masters?
You're wise
Are we
people.
wise?
Yes, it's true.
Absolutely.
It's true.
And why do we have to have a name for it?
True.
We don't.
Why do we?
We don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because
There's no
I
need.
think it was then we went from senior to retired, and now people aren't retiring, so we don't want to say retired. And so it's just we get to redefine it however we want.
And I love
on
that.
our terms.
I love that you said redefine. And I know that in Disrupting Aging, it mentions that. Redefining, redesigning,
Yes.
reevaluating all of who we are. I mean, we're in control of our own lives. We make those
Exactly.
decisions.
Exactly.
And
We
my
control that.
parents are 83, 84 years old, and my father is still working. He lobbies for the Catholic Hospital. He's still working. And this keeps him going, keeps him busy. He's bright. He's involved. He sits on boards and commissions, and it's so important just to be active and be part of the community. And again, providing that wisdom.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
For those that are just joining the show via Facebook at AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection or listening to us via radio on 1190 AM, I'm Alex Juarez sitting in for David Parra. And today we're talking about Let's Disrupt Aging. And good news is the way we are aging is changing. Mostly for the better, right?
Correct.
I think we're changing. We're going to be living longer than our parents are. We need to be more productive in life, I think. The bad news is the way that we see it. Those misconceptions or perceived conceptions about aging. What do you think about those perceived conceptions? How do we change those conceptions?
Keep living life.
Keep living life.
I mean, be positive role models for what aging is. Don't be afraid of your age. Don't let age limit what you want to do.
Right.
Keep dreaming and keep living.
I love that. I really do. And I made a note too, just because you just said something too, is the perspective. And I think the other P word is be productive.
Productive,
and have a plan. I mean, I'm big on planning. Obviously, your world can, turn upside down in an instant.
Yes.
But I'm really big about having a plan, an action plan. And hey, you might divert and go here to here to here to here, but still to have a plan, it helps. But it's scary. It's scary because the financial part is something that you have to always think about. The health part is something you have to think about. Because again, your life can turn upside down. But yes, embrace it, and have fun.
Yeah.
And have
Exactly.
fun.
And you can do everything that you want to do to live a healthy life. And sometimes, we can't control all the variables as far as what happens to us. But do what you can do to take control of your life as much to the extent that possible that you can.
Exactly. Absolutely. No. And talking about these stereotypes, I mean, there's a lot of stereotypes really that give a negative sense. For example, a mandatory retirement. Why does it have to be a mandatory retirement if we want to continue working?
That's right.
And
That's
in
right.
today's world, it seems like many people are coming back to work.
Yep.
Very much so. And I love when people tell you what you should do with your life. I mean, people tell me that all the time.
Right.
You should do this and you should do that and you can retire next year. So why don't you retire? I'm like, well, thank you. Are you going to be paying me
Yeah,
on
no
a monthly
kidding, huh?
basis for all your, it is interesting how people always have an opinion about what you should do, especially as you get older. But I like what you said, Dana. You need to, it's your own destiny,
Yeah.
and have that plan. Choose where you want to live. Choose what you want to do, when you want to travel. Again, the finances do come and play a major role in that.
absolutely.
But yeah, it's something to think about.
Absolutely.
But that has to come with planning, right?
Absolutely.
We've got to start at a young age planning for our retirement years. So that's all part of the sequence here. So we need to start changing the conversation that we have in this country. And aging is about growth, not decline, but positive growth. A lot of people think that you're old, you're going to be a negative to the economy, and that's not true. We've got to change that. We've got to change that conversation. Dana, do you live it on a daily basis at AARP? What can we change in that situation?
Well, I think one way is we need to change how we view aging as if it's a deficit, rather it's something positive.
Right.
And if you want to look at problems in our society and solutions, rather than say that seniors are a drain on our resources, on our economy and everything, it should be viewed the opposite.
So opportunities. It's an opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
Rather than
and
a challenge.
opportunities to engage. And I know, we're working with the city of Phoenix regarding age friendly. And one of, many of the council members supported this because they wanted to see how they could engage retirees in all the volunteer opportunities that the city of Phoenix offers. And being able to make sure that you tap those resources and provide opportunities is absolutely critical in everything that we do.
Totally agree, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because being with the city of Phoenix too, and I love we have 15, 17 senior centers throughout the city, and they're so vibrant, so very active. And I have done numerous stories with our seniors, and I love not our seniors. We just said that's a bad word. With
Our masters.
Our
We're gonna call
masters.
them
Yeah, our
masters, right?
wise people.
Our wise.
Well, I love spending time because they have a whole history. I mean, we're talking people that were in WW2, that have traveled the world, that, we're business people. And I just love just visiting and talk about the history. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge there, too. So I'm really glad that the city is, in fact, embracing this, the age-friendly with our seniors, with the volunteer programs, and job opportunities as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we're very excited to be working with the city of Phoenix. Dana is on a commission for age-friendly cities, and we're excited that the city of Phoenix is part of it. I think part of our program of livable communities really is changing the way that we view our cities, how we live in these cities, and how we give that opportunity to our masters to stay in their homes longer rather than going into a home. So we're very excited.
It's about building communities.
Very much so. And it's about building communities, walkability, and just this sense. And that's why, well, eventually I want to be in Santa Fe and in Phoenix because I hate to drive. I admit it, I hate to drive. So I want to have the walkability of going to church, going to the grocery store, going to whatever, and, not have to worried about driving.
I'm going to ask you to hold that thought.
Yes.
We're going to go on a quick break.
Okay.
I want to say hello to Roberto Sanchez Garcia that's watching us on Facebook Live. Roberto's a great leader in the community, and we wish him luck in his race. But with that, we're going to be back in just a couple minutes, so please stay tuned on Let's Disrupt Aging. This is Alex Suarez with the AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection.
Welcome to AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection. Educate. Celebrate. Connect. Arizona Hispanic Connection.
Good morning again. This is Alex Juarez with AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection. Dana, can you believe it? It's been a year since we launched the platform. Seems like it was just yesterday.
It does seem like it was just yesterday.
God. Well, congratulations and happy anniversary.
Right?
1 year.
Thank you.
Wow.
1 year.
I know.
Yeah, it
Goes by
was
so
1 year.
quickly.
David's creation idea. He's the
I love
architect, basically, of the idea of creating this platform so we can reach all Hispanics in a bilingual, acculturated type of communication piece, and it really working well. So I'm going to ask everybody that's watching us on AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection, please share this with your friends, with your family. Let them know about the platform, because this is a way to communicate with our community, with our Hispanic
Absolutely.
community, the great accomplishments and topics of interest, not only the 50-plus segment of anybody. There's really... So, David, if you're watching and listening, thank you so much for creating this idea. Dana, thank you for believing in this platform. I think it's going to be a wonderful platform in the future.
Oh, you guys have done a great job. A really good job. Good team effort.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
And the partnership you have with La Onda. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
1190 AM, right?
Yes.
That's a great
Absolutely.
platform to launch it with. So, Deb, you were talking about a little bit during the break, a little bit of your health and all that. Let's talk about health and how we change these conceptions about health and why we need to change them. But one of them is the physical and mental diminishment that exists as we age. And how do we need to change that to become a physical and mental fitness? How do we do that?
Well, I think that's, again, that's a personal journey, I think we all, because unfortunately, sometimes we can't. I mean, there are health issues. There are chronic issues. There's things that you're diagnosed that you, again, didn't plan. But I think, and you have to deal with. And I'd like to see more geriatric doctors. And I read some of these notes here that it's amazing and appalling that in this country that we do not have the decrease of that.
Yes.
And I'm happy to say one of my good friends, Dr. Jennifer Gonzalez, she actually does treat geriatrics. So, but I think fitness is a big part of my well-being, and I say well-being because some people say, God, you exercise so much, or you're doing this again. But it's my way to decompress. It's my way to just, clear my mind and stay fit. So whether it's running, whether it's doing flamenco, whether it's lifting, whatever I'm doing, hiking a mountain, and trust me, every day I do those things. I thank the Lord that I am able to do that, because unfortunately there are people that can't. And again, those are circumstances, whether it be social circumstances, environment circumstances, that you have a health issue. But yeah, every time I climb that mountain, I say, thank you so much for giving me that opportunity to be able to do this. But I think that plays a big, big role in fitness. And I like to say Deborah's Fab Five is family, friends, finance, fitness, and what was my other one? I have 5 of them. But anyway,
Your 5.
friends. Yes, friends. Yes, friends. That's right. Faith, family, friends, finances, and fitness. Those are my, 5.
The 5 Fs.
Seriously, think about those things in planning your life and what you want to do, because and you have to sneak in the finance, because let's get real. That's a reality.
It is.
As we all get older.
Absolutely.
As we all get older, whether you have a retirement or not. But fitness in my personal life is very, very, it's up there. It's
Absolutely.
important. It keeps me going. I mean, I'm one of those people that get up 4:30 in the morning to go and exercise and work out, because my day is so stacked and so busy. I like to, it jumpstarts my day, and it just gives me a whole new mindset and gets me, just gets me going in the morning.
I'm actually embarrassed being here with you too, because you guys are so fit. And I coach soccer, but I don't run as much as you guys do. So I want to get the energy that you ladies have. Definitely. Dana, in AARP Arizona, we have a theme that's called Phoenix in Motion.
Yep.
And we call Arizona in Motion.
Yep.
Why do we do that? What is Arizona in Motion? What's Phoenix in Motion?
Well, it's about fitness and fun and socialization. And I think we see all kinds of reports about social isolation and how bad that is for your health. And it really concerns me. And so what we're hearing from our members is they want the opportunity to connect with each other. So we actually started off our Phoenix in Motion with the City of Phoenix with the Meet Me Downtown.
Right.
And which is a weekly, 5K walk run. And it was a great opportunity. And since then we've kind of expanded to do, the Fall Fitness Concert Series, where we're doing a 10-week partnership with the City of Phoenix, which is instructor-led at Hans Park. Our or Tuesday night at 6 p.m. at Hans Park will be the last one because unfortunately we've got summer.
Right, the weather.
Tuesday the 22nd at 6 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Hans Park.
Yeah.
So hope we see you guys there.
Yeah. But we also do healthy drum circles, and we recently just did a bike safety clinic. And that was actually one of our most successful events and most inquired about events. When are we doing the next one? And other cities have reached out with us. Other bike shops have reached out to us wanting to do bike safety clinics.
Wonderful.
And, for me, it's personal.
Right.
Because
Totally agree.
I am a triathlete.
Right.
And I was a swimmer in high school. Actually, I had rheumatic fever from a strep throat that went undetected. And so I started swimming at 7. And I actually reversed a heart murmur. And my heart is very healthy. And in my 30s, I started to get unfit and, worked and really didn't pay attention to my fitness. And in 2011, I made a commitment and a goal to do something every day and just lace up and get outside.
Right.
And it didn't matter what I did, if it was walking or running, I was still doing something. And then I also signed up to do a race a month.
Right.
And I've continued that to this day.
Right.
And so 2018 has had some challenges with me. I pulled a muscle and I
Had a little accident.
bike accident and had a broken wrist. But you know what? I've still managed to do a 5K the last 2 months that I've been injured. So even if I did a 5K in a boot or I did a 5K with a cast, I still did a 5K because it was a goal that I set out to do and I wanted to achieve it. So it wasn't the 70.3 half Ironman distance in an Oceanside. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do that, but I found something else.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what you do, just do something. And if you can get some friends to do it with you,
I was just going to say that, yeah.
it makes it even more important and more impactful and more meaningful.
That's why I've met my fitness friends, I call them, is and Dr. Gonzalez is one of them. And what I love about that is you have that commitment and accountability. Okay, we're going to run at 5 o'clock in the morning. We're going to do 5 miles and meet at so and so. So there's a commitment, that accountability that somebody's waiting for you. So that really helps. Plus the camaraderie. It's really nice to have, like you said, the socialization.
Aspect,
Very much. So if you're running, walking, and I like what you said, just you lace up and make a decision. Because I also do flamenco.
Right.
There's not really a lace. You slip on the shoe there, but still there's a shoe involved in it. But it's so very much true. I mean, there's so many things you can do. Even if you're watching television, I mean, during a commercial, just get up and move. Right. Just get up and move. Do sit-ups. Do something. Just get up and move. Especially if you have a puppy. Walk that little puppy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And AARP has partnered up with our fitness guru. Do you remember Denise Austin?
Of course.
Well, Denise Austin is our physical guru. I mean, she has some programs to help our community be active. How to walk, how to energize on that one. So the common thread here is being active, both physically, but we also have to think about mentally. How do we stay active? How do we make our mind continue working? So it doesn't mean that as we age, we have to slow down. We don't have to slow down.
I'm never going to slow down. No.
Exactly.
Like my priest says, is like you're going to all wake up dead one day. Until you do, just keep on moving.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
Yep.
Exactly.
Too many things to do. Too many people to meet. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Too many things to learn. Yes.
That's what my wife, Nancy, Nancy very well. I mean, that's her motto. I'm going to slow down when I die,
Yes.
And she wants to continue being a teenager.
Yeah. And again, that's that whole mindset. And then you wake up all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm 60? How did that happen? Because my mind's still, and I want to do this, that, and the other. Now, granted, and we were talking about this a little earlier during the break, is that as you do age, and there's that little thing tapping you on the shoulder, just you want to be a little more cautious, maybe how you're stepping off, or maybe on your running in the desert and that little curve and turning an ankle.
Yes.
So I have found myself being a little more cautious because I want to continue to do that.
Yeah, we may not be as agile, right?
Exactly, because I don't want to hurt myself, and I can't do it. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's, again, mindset.
I'm a little bit of a klutz. And
you admit that.
Yeah, so I know I am. I've got some challenges, but I don't let that stop me from doing what I love to do.
Absolutely, it shouldn't.
When I go to the doctor and he's like, "I can't believe you've fallen doing trail running again," and I'm like, "I know, I can't believe it either." Or sometimes I'll just fall, but I found that I can't wear headsets anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Do you lose your balance?
I'm not paying attention.
Oh, okay,
And as you get
Right.
older, you need to pay more attention.
Correct.
You just do. It's
Right.
reality.
Right.
So by taking out my headsets, I have not fallen running since.
Oh, good.
So I'm just completely aware of my surroundings.
Right.
And I'm not listening to music, which is distracting me, which probably sometimes makes me speed up. It's a different rhythm. Now I just hear my feet pounding.
Right. Which is a rhythm
You
in itself.
focus on that,
and
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And you can just think. Because I always, when I run by myself, not so much with a group because we're chattering and talking, but I always like either set another goal or a commitment or think
Right.
or something I need to complete that day. So which is really nice. So it's a great way to just kind of, again, clear your mind or just kind of plan your day or just think about what you need to get done.
But it's also good for your mind.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
all the evidence shows that, one way to decrease dementia is to keep your mind active.
Absolutely.
Correct, yes.
And then,
Absolutely.
and then you want to eat well. And if you're active and you need to fuel your body, which is
right.
absolutely critical.
That's
right.
right. One of the other outdated beliefs in here, talking about health, is the access or the uncertain access to care. So how do we change that conversation into dependable access to care? And one of the things that AARP works very hard is trying to keep our masters, our 50-plus segments, or people that are retiring at home longer, Dana. How do we change that conversation?
Well, I think you need to have, just as Deb said earlier, you need to have a plan. And I think we also need to be careful of what home is. And because sometimes being at home means you may need to move to a retirement community
Right.
if you have a chronic condition.
Right.
And we need to accept that it's okay if you decide that your home that you've grown up and raised a family may not be the home that you want to retire in as well. And that may allow you to keep your independence. But also having a plan as far as if you do want to stay in your own home, are there modifications that you need to make in that home?
Right.
And then everything that you need to do for prevention and making sure that you go to your doctor's appointments, get your blood checked done, get your blood pressure checked, and making sure that everything's firing the way that it should be firing. I think that's absolutely critical as well.
I totally agree. Yeah. All those well checkups. I mean, just the annual checkups. I mean, I know I do that religiously, just my well checkups and knock on wood, so far so good. So, but totally mandatory.
Mammograms,
Absolutely.
prostate screenings,
Absolutely.
all of those things.
Yeah.
They can detect things.
Eyes, hearing, all of
Yes,
that. Yeah.
Prevention.
Eyes is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me,
Yeah,
I'm wearing
absolutely.
these stupid glasses today because my last contact ripped. I was like, oh my God, I can't
What am I doing?
see. I know. It is interesting. And
Yeah.
it's interesting also, too, when I can't see, when I don't have my contacts or glasses, all of a sudden I feel like I can't think.
Yeah.
I can't think because I can't see.
You're
And
focusing on
goes-
something else. Yeah,
and you
exactly.
just kind of go hand
Yep.
in hand, which is
Yeah.
kind of odd, but
Yeah.
When we come back from the break, we're going to go into the segment and talk about wealth, the importance of saving. That is really important as well. So this is Alex Juarez with AARP, Arizona Hispanic Connection. You're listening to our show, Let's Disrupt Aging. We will be right back.
Welcome to AARP, Arizona Hispanic Connection. Educate. Celebrate. Connect. Arizona Hispanic Connection.
Welcome back. This is Alex Juarez with AARP, Arizona Hispanic Connection, and we are talking about Let's Disrupt Aging. This is the book, the actual book that our CEO, Joanne Jenkins, wrote. It's called Disrupt Aging. I highly recommend that we all read this book. It has great information about aging and how we need to change that conversation in the United States, all over the world. We've got to change this because we've got to change the way we think of ourselves and the way that we age. So in the book, she basically breaks it down into really three parts, which would be the health, wealth, and self. And we're going to talk about wealth, the importance of saving, of preparing for retirement. So some of the misconceptions out there and the way we have to change that conversation are older people are commonly known as burdens in the economy. How do we change that to a positive as older people are economic contributors? How do we do that? How do we start that conversation?
I think we see it all the time. I mean, if you look at who's really spending the most money, it's definitely the 50 and older.
Right.
Yes.
Many people are selling their home, buying a new home into a retirement community, and they're traveling, buying an RV. I think the baby boomers are really completely redefining how we view aging.
Yeah.
So,
And I love it.
Yeah.
And I love it because we're right in that mix.
Yes.
We're right in that mix.
But there's a misconception also out there that the population, the older population, is on a set income that they can't spend. So we need to educate people also on that. I mean, yeah, there are some people that obviously are in a budget,
Right.
and can't probably afford to buy all those luxury things, but they do have that wallet, economic power to be spending in the economy, right? So they're not a burden, really.
I think, we really needed to do a good job as far as teaching everybody how to save and plan for retirement. It's called retirement planning.
It's called retirement. And unfortunately, that everybody doesn't have, what the city of Phoenix, I have an incredible, retirement pension package, but not everybody does, in fact, have that. And especially these millennials and these first coming in, they're going from job to job to job to job, thinking, and that's just the way it is today. But a lot of companies and organizations don't even offer the 401ks or a pension retirement. So you are having to sock away, and that's a big portion, because it breaks down to what? Social Security, your personal savings, retirement pension, Medicare, all those that you have to look for in the future. I feel like it's gosh, is it going to be enough? And you have the little dashboard, and like, if you're here, this could happen. But there's so many variables to it. I just think the best thing to do, again, is that word, plan, and save.
Yeah.
But again, just because I'm going to be 60, or just because I can retire and I'm 62, 64, whatever, as you're older, you make your own life. You decide when you want to stop working and just travel, if you can, financially.
Sure.
But, I have a lot to give still, and I still would like to continue to work as long as I want to continue to work, which gives me and provides me more income as well. Maybe I don't work 40 hours a week. Maybe I work 20 hours a week. But I'm still contributing to society and the economy, because I could continue to spend.
Absolutely.
As we all do.
You touched on something very important here, 401ks.
Yes.
Many companies can't afford to provide that 401k. Many companies don't offer that pension plan anymore.
Right.
City of Phoenix has that.
Yes.
But AARP is working on a work and save type of program. Can you talk a little bit about that, Dana?
Yeah, so what it does is it would work with businesses to be able to provide some type of retirement account. And so the research all shows that you're more likely to save if it automatically comes out of your paycheck. So by working with companies to be able to provide some type of savings plan that comes directly out of your paycheck will really help people be able to save appropriately. My biggest savings is my 401k.
Right.
Yeah. And, if you have the ability to be part of a 401k, don't leave money on the table.
Exactly.
Like, make sure that you match whatever your employee is going to. Don't leave that money on the table. And no matter how hard it is to make those financial choices, it's going to pay off well when you start to retire.
In the long run.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's so true. It's like, when you get that paycheck, and if you have it deducted from your paycheck right away, you know that you just have this lump sum to spend for the month or whatever.
Right.
It's just so much easier.
And that's why Social Security has been so successful, is it was passed in 1935, and it was a mandatory retirement program. And the fact that it was retirement and mandatory is why we're always going to have this debate about, is Social Security, the best investment for you or not? Maybe you could take those dollars and invest them better, but maybe you won't. And that's why Social Security has been so successful, is it does give some type of benefit when people retire, which is better off for all of our our government programs.
Right.
So,
and it's just I think it's so important just to be educated on all those programs as you get older. I mean,
You're right.
I'm a recent widow, and I had to kind of learn, just be thrown in and learn kind of the hard way very quickly about Social Security and what my benefits are. And surviving benefits for a widow, you get one little check of $255. Thank you very much. And that's it. I mean, my husband was on disability. That disability, $2,300 a month, gone. That's gone.
Yeah.
So then, so now I have to tighten up a little bit and figure things out, and just, so again, when I was talking about have a plan, but you can be thrown for a loop in an instant. And that's a perfect example that all of a sudden it's like, oh my God. So at least that I had savings and, and some insurance from, his life insurance, and because he had a chronic illness, but still it's a very, very scary thing, finances and wealth.
Yeah.
But I think the best advice is save, save, save. This is a great program. AARP is teaming up with companies to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is key to start at a young age.
Yes.
And that's what I try to tell my kids.
I tell my children the same way. They're in their 20s, and they both have
now.
they both have 401ks, which I said, you know what?
Absolutely.
You think right now it's out of your paycheck. I said, another 10
You don't feel
years.
it.
I mean, yes. And it just grows so quickly.
Right.
Grows so quickly.
And I know it's difficult for those students that are still in college
Right.
and have loans and all that. It makes it a little bit difficult. But just being disciplined about putting $50 a paycheck or
Right.
whatever the amount is, whatever you can put in there in your savings, and start building that. Because I think, again, one of the outdated beliefs that we have out there is the depletion of finances. How do we change that to resources that don't outlive us?
Right.
Because we're going to get to a point in life that maybe we don't have enough savings. What do we do then?
Yeah.
Are there programs out there that are going to be able to help us?
Well, and every generation has heard that Social Security isn't going to be there when they need it
That's
in
what
retirement.
That's right.
And it just really, the evidence is not there. And that would be government not owning up to its responsibilities. And do we need to make some changes, small changes? The sooner we make them, the better. We need to make changes in the 80s, and we did it. And we'll need to make changes in the future to make sure that it is completely solvent. But Social Security is definitely going to be there in the future for the millennials, even though they may say it's not going to be there
Naysayers,
for
it's not
me.
going to happen. Yes.
I heard that too.
Yes.
And I'm assured that Social Security is definitely going to be there well into the future.
Absolutely. And unlike what we hear out there sometimes in Congress or that it's an entitlement. It's something that we put in on a monthly basis.
Oh, yeah. We pay into it. And we've worked hard for it. We've absolutely worked for it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, and that's something that AARP works very hard to keep an eye on what's happening with Social Security, on Medicare, Medicaid, et cetera, and try to advocate for our 50-plus community. And we'll continue doing that as an organization, and national organization on that.
Yeah, and Medicare is another one of those programs that is mandatory health savings when you retire. And you're eligible for it at 65. The retirement age is going to eventually be 67, so it's phased in right now. But like when I retire, it will be 67.
Right.
And Medicare, you're eligible for that at 65. There is some issues regarding health care with people 50 to 65 that may retire early as far as having that access to affordable health care. And we worked
Which is a whole other issue.
Yeah.
This is a whole
and
other
we
issue,
worked
too.
very hard to make sure that was protected in the Affordable Care Act. And we will continue to do so.
That's a scary thought, too. Let me ask you, too, Dana, because I know that, and again, that word planning comes into play. Is so if you do want to retire and you're eligible to retire like in a year or so or 60, 61, that health care is scary.
It's
Because
very
if
expensive.
you're single compared to family, I mean, it changes if you do the COBRA, but there's a lot of plans out there, and I'm sure AARP also can help you navigate and could give you comparisons.
Yes.
Which is
Yeah.
comparatively, which is more competitive or which costs, but that's a big issue.
Yeah, and people don't even understand all that Medicare covers, especially regarding custodial care.
Right.
If you get dementia and you need to be in a skilled nursing facility, Medicare doesn't cover that. It covers so many days in a skilled nursing facility, but it doesn't cover everything. So even as you get prepared to retire at 65, you want to make sure what is the best Medicare plan for you. And there's Medicare A,
And
B,
benefit,
and
yes,
D,
I remember, because
which
my
is the
husband
drug
had that.
benefit.
Right.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
and again, it's that word too is be educated too, because I know for my husband for years, as a caregiver, you have to be an advocate sometimes if you are a caregiver and know and kind of fight back and question and ask, because it's a tough time too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's talk real fast about the workforce, and we have about a minute before we go on break. But just real fast, there's a misconception out there that the 50-plus community takes jobs of the millennials. What do you think about that when we hear that?
I don't believe that at all. And I think we're actually going into a period of time where we're going to have a job deficit, where we're not going to have enough employees for the jobs. So I think that there's definitely jobs to go around for everybody. And I think more and more companies are seeing that it's great to have an experienced workforce as well as a young workforce.
Right. Diverse.
Yeah.
A diverse workforce.
Absolutely.
Again, that knowledge and that wisdom. And you see it, I think, more and more with the companies. Like we mentioned, the Home Depot, CVS, Walgreens. You see the masters, if you will, working in those roles.
Exactly. Yeah. Many of them coming back and taking a
Right.
part-time job and all that.
Right.
So absolutely. Definitely.
And sometimes there's even models of job sharing where somebody who's close to retirement starts to share their knowledge and their experience with somebody who may be younger, who may then come up after them. So I think that's a really good model as well for companies.
I'm smiling here because do you remember that movie, The Intern?
Yes.
Yes.
I love that
that's
movie.
yeah.
That's a perfect example. Really, a perfect example of him coming back into the workforce and being the intern, but really kind of rocking it and teaching them
Exactly.
old school, the way that things were done.
Yeah.
And there's other ways to give that, share that, also that knowledge, because we have a program called Experience Corps working with the city of Phoenix and the city of Tempe, where we bring all these experienced people to help in reading programs for the city. So that is amazing. That's a great program on that.
Yeah.
I know we need to go on break now, but when we come back, we're going to touch on the third subject, which is self, and how do we take care of ourselves. So when we come back, we'll talk about that. You're listening to AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection, 1190 AM, or on Facebook Live. Thank you, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection. Educate. Celebrate. Connect. Arizona Hispanic Connection.
Welcome back to AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection. I'm Alex Juarez sitting in for David Parra, and we are in our last segment. This has gone really fast.
It has.
It has.
We're little chatterboxes here. Yes.
Absolutely. And we're on 1190 AM, and we're also on Facebook Live at AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection. And we have also Anita. Anita, please come and join us. Anita Ritter is an amazing individual. She has been a volunteer for AARP for many years, and she is part of our advocacy steering committee. She's a great leader in the community. And welcome, Anita. Yeah, I think your input will be greatly appreciated as well.
My consensus of opinion is that education. I work. I'll be 78 in a couple of months.
Get out! Woohoo!
Isn't that amazing?
Rock that! Yes.
I'll be 78 in a
See,
couple of
embrace
months.
it.
And it's amazing to me the people, of course, that I am around, both politically,
Yes.
business, personal, and all the organizations that I volunteer for. And they are all in such dire need of financial help.
Yes.
Because they are living off Social Security only.
Exactly.
They don't pre-plan ahead. They depend, they rely that when they retire, Social Security is going to be there to sustain them.
Great
But they
point.
don't understand, and they don't check to see how much
Really that money is. It's not
Which is
much.
not much.
It's
Yeah,
not much.
exactly, yeah.
I have friends who receive $1,200 a month.
Wow.
And some have to pay rent, utilities, groceries, medical.
yes.
Yes.
And how can you live on $1,200 a month?
You can't.
Makes it very difficult.
You can't.
Very
So we
difficult.
have
So
to
great
educate.
point.
Yes, we have to educate this younger generation. I have my grandchildren,
Yes.
and I sit down with them with a budget, and I said, okay, this is your net.
Right.
This is your net take-home pay, and then start deducting. Go
Right.
by process of elimination. How much money are you going to?
Yes.
Oh, well, you don't have money for this, so what are you going to do? And then I also allow a column in their little financial planner for savings.
For savings,
and I tell them,
absolutely.
and you have to
Exactly.
save
Yeah.
a percentage of your
Paycheck.
paycheck every month,
Right.
so that you have at least minimum 3 to 6 month little
Emergency money. If something
Exactly.
happens.
Rainy day
yes.
fund.
happens.
Yes.
Out of that, you have to be able to pay your mortgage,
Right.
your utilities,
Yes.
the most urgent necessities. Otherwise, you can't afford.
And trust me, there's always an emergency.
Oh,
Seriously.
always,
Yeah,
yeah.
I need new
Every month.
tires, my brakes. It is, isn't it?
Every
And then I
month you
teach
have
them
that,
needs or
right?
wants. You know, do you really need this extra television set? Do you need
Right.
this
Yeah.
extra car? Do you need a newer car?
Exactly.
Needs and wants. That's
Well,
true.
we're
Good
so
point.
glad that you joined us, Anita. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
because.
And she was listening,
besides
so
these
that's
two
great.
beautiful ladies, Dana and you, Deb, if there's a poster child really for someone that has disrupted aging, it's Anita Ritter. Look at her. Geez.
I know,
I'm like, oh my
beautiful, and
goodness.
78.
genes.
Woohoo!
Good genes, good genes.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Let's Disrupt Aging, the book that Joanne Jenkins, our CEO at AARP, wrote. And in this segment, we are going to be talking about self, the importance of taking care of ourselves. Because we can take care of our wealth, our health, but ourself, our mind. How do we do that? And let's start with Deb. I mean, you, Deb, unfortunately
Yeah.
went through the passing of Doug,
Yes,
your husband.
yes. Yes.
How are you taking care of yourself now?
It was tough. I mean, been 22 months. I lost my husband, and it's an earthquake on your soul. All of a sudden, your whole your world is upside down, and you got to figure crap out seriously on a daily basis. And now it's just me. And with being with somebody for almost 40 years, love of my life, now gone. I mean, you wake up and figure out I don't have anybody to discuss my future, my plans, what I'm going to do. It's all on me. I'm making my own decisions on redesigning, reevaluating, what I'm going to do. Am I going to stay in this big house? Am I going to move? Whatever. And it's very, very scary. But I'm confident I'm going to do it, and I have to do it because nobody else is going to do it for me. Yeah. So taking care of your question, taking care of yourself is you do realize is that you have control of your own destiny.
Exactly.
You really, really do. And we've had some great conversations here today too about wealth and about fitness and all of that. And I think for me, all of that comes into play for me. And that whole thing have to have a plan. Because if I don't have a plan, I will I will fall to pieces.
Yeah.
And I am probably the most spontaneous, fun loving, and just like, hey, let's do it. Let's go. I always had 2 diaper bags packed when the kids were little because I was ready to go. But even the best plans can teeter out. But I think that's just so key and so important. So for me is always having a plan, always surround myself with very positive people,
Yes.
and my family and friends, and of course my Fab 5 I talked about is faith. So, but it's scary to be by yourself and to be sick, and because that's happened to me. Like where I'm really, really sick. I'm like, oh my God, I am so sick that I can't get out of bed to go get my orange juice. And so taking care of yourself, and that all comes into play too, is as we talked about a little earlier. Now we're going to be wrapping it up, summarizing, is just, getting those well checks, going to the doctors, fitness, eating right. There's just so much that's involved in taking care of you. And sometimes we don't do that. You tend to take care of everybody else and give for everybody else.
And we forget about ourselves.
You got to look in the mirror. So I go do massages. Yes, I go do massages for sure. And I just, give myself, some
Pamper
downtime.
yourself a little bit.
I do.
Yeah,
I do because nobody else is going to do it for me.
We have
and
to
I
be
work
a little
hard.
bit selfish, I think.
Yes.
We've got to think of ourselves sometimes and on that. Anita, how do you take care of yourself? You're in such great shape and beautiful. So
I
how do you do
know. And a very young 78.
Again,
I'm like,
I
woohoo.
repeat, good genes.
Yeah.
I am blessed really with good genes. I say that honestly. I just try to eat well balanced meals.
Absolutely.
I don't exercise. I've never joined a gym. I do not. The only thing I do is my significant another of 36 years, we do go dancing.
Oh, well,
my
that's
goodness. Well, that's
at least
plenty of
that's-
exercise there.
That's a lot of exercise.
Right.
Yes.
And-
Whatever it is. Yes.
And I'm very active with my children, my grandchildren. I've been involved with like Pop Warner. This is my 45th year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so we're 4 generations now. And so I go to wrestling matches, baseball games, football
You're
games,
active.
soccer.
You are active.
I
active,
am.
yeah.
I am. In fact, my children laugh that I'm busier now that I'm retired than I was, before.
That's true. I see that in some people.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Because I'm still volunteering and
Sure.
I belong to several organizations and I do a lot. And then
I
I
love
own
it.
rental properties. I do my painting, my cleaning, my plumbing,
Oh, my goodness.
So
You were nonstop.
I am
No, she's nonstop, totally nonstop.
But I'm blessed again. I do say, I keep using the word blessed because I do have good health. I do have a lot of energy.
Yes. I can tell. When were you born?
August 19th.
Oh, you're an August baby. Your birthday's coming up. Yeah.
So, but it's true that, like you say, you have to take care of yourself. I do watch my weight.
Right.
And fortunately, I don't have to diet. I do maintain that
Right.
weight. I do. I don't even take vitamins. I don't take anything.
Wow.
That's
Like I said,
Jeez.
again, it's being
Yeah.
blessed. I know people that take handfuls of this and that,
Yeah.
and they're sicker. But
Yes.
I want to add
Yeah.
one thing before we end. Is attitude.
Oh my
Attitude,
gosh,
yeah.
yes,
And,
so
you
key,
know,
Dana.
I
Yes.
just recently, as I mentioned earlier, broke my wrist, and it's been a challenge for me because I am so active, and it's my right wrist. So, getting dressed was a challenge. When friends came over, I had to ask for help. Ask for help and attitude is really critical in taking care of yourself.
Yes, don't be
And
afraid
so
to ask for help.
When I
Absolutely.
woke up every morning, I still wake up every morning, and this hand doesn't work the way I want it to. I basically say, this is an opportunity for an attitude adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And every single day you have an opportunity
That's so true.
to adjust the attitude that you want. And I can sit there and focus on all the things I can't do, or I can sit there and focus on all the things that I can do.
Yes.
And I will focus on all the things I can do.
Right.
Because if we go down that spiraling road of all the things that we can't do in life, you're going to find yourself in a really dark hole.
Right.
So instead, look at your attitude is so important in life. And I took that from my great-grandfather. And he had an attitude of being happy for
Positive, absolutely.
Positive
He also lost 2 wives, and it broke his heart.
Yes, right.
But he still got up every single day and got out of bed and
Yeah.
did something and focused on other people as well.
Right.
And asking for help is so important. If
And it's
you
okay.
need
Trust
help-
me. I've learned that through tons of grief counselors. It's okay to ask for help.
Don't we all want to help people?
Of course. So there's
no
somebody there to
reason
help. Yes.
Also say, hey,
Ask for help.
I need a little help here.
Yeah.
Can you come over to my house? Can you
Exactly.
take me grocery shopping?
Oh, yeah.
You know, cut
And
the
it's hard
vegetables
doing
for
that.
me.
You know, I'm doing it right now with my hands.
We both have 2
my
arms.
sister's visiting from Mexico City, and she's like, "Tell me, let me do something."
I know.
But I'm so used to doing things on my own. I want to do
Yeah,
it. You know?
you-
So it is hard. We've
that-
got to learn to open up and ask for help.
Yeah.
Let's touch real fast because we only have like 2 minutes left on social isolation, on self-well-being, because that's one of the biggest issues that we have in our country is that social isolation that many of our 50-plus community go through. How do we change that, Dana?
Well, you know, we're going to start relying on technology. And, you know, I actually think that, you know, our social media is a way to decrease social isolation. But as you know, because there may come a time that you have a chronic illness and you're not able to get out and do the things that
Right.
you want. But there are organizations in our community that are there to help people reduce that social isolation. And again, it's about asking for help.
Right.
So, you know, there's a great organization called Duet who will actually take you, a volunteer,
Yes,
take you to
I'm
get your
familiar with
grocery
them.
shopping,
Yes.
have somebody come and visit with you. So we really need to be aware that there are these seniors who can't get out every day, and it's our responsibility to help them.
Absolutely.
And so whatever we can do to volunteer and give back to the community also adds something to yourself.
True.
And
Absolutely. Anita, you wanted to mention something else?
And that's exactly what I agree with Dana. A lot of times I think it's pride that people feel they don't want to be looked upon as elderly and helpless, and so therefore they don't ask for help. But you need to help. First of all, you have to be able to help people when you can, and then therefore be able to ask for help when you need it. Admit that you need help. But
Right.
attitude, getting out and
Oh my
mingling
gosh,
with people,
yes.
that is so important. It lifts your spirits, I think,
Totally.
when you're around people.
The first few months, too, after my husband passed away, I know that one of my grief counselors says, you know what? You get up, survive, and go to bed. And you just have to figure crap out every single day. And that's what I did for so long. And until I finally woke up, I'm like, okay, this is my new reality. And I got to the attitude, I just got to get up and go out and, you know, conquer the world. Yeah.
Ladies, we've had a great conversation about let's disrupt aging. Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Out of town. We are in town. No, Dana's out of town.
Exactly. Just one last brief comment that you had.
No, I was just going to comment that I was widowed at 29, and so with 4 children, and so my sister and her friend got me involved in volunteering.
Volunteering
And
is a great
that's
option.
how I got started.
Yes.
To get me out of my,
Yes.
depression.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I'm so involved
So
with
with
ministries.
that in
and
mind,
just
volunteering,
Go. Yes.
we are going to bring it to a close. Ladies,
Yes.
thank you very much. Deb, we are so happy that you're going to be joining us
Yes,
whenever you
yes,
can. in the show.
absolutely.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Thank
Dana,
you
thank
for
you so much
having
for
me.
being here, for your expertise, your passion. And Anita, thank you so much for all that you've done for our community. With
Yes.
that, we're going to close the show today. I'm Alex Juarez with AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection. Next week, David Parra will be back as your host. So thank you so much for watching. And remember, please share it with your friends and family. AARP Arizona Hispanic Connection. Thank you.